I know, where's our chopper and everything?
You know, I think it might be finally time that I learn vehicles in Battlefield, because BBK Dragoon and I were playing some Battlefield 4 recently, and having a blast, mind you, but being on a very vehicle-dominating map and not playing vehicles is a kind of discouraging experience sometimes. So, well, let me know what you think in the comments. I think it's time we played. We learned some vehicles. The flights don't really make any sense to me, but I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to adapt and change. But in the meantime, it's all boots on the ground, baby. And we're playing some Battlefield 4, and I hope you enjoy.
Fun fact, the closer you are to the flag, the faster it captures in Battlefield.
I did not know that. I feel like an idiot for not knowing that. I think that's one of those things that you assume isn't actually true and then ends up being true. Huh.
See, I mean, this is the machinima era, because remember, that's what 90% of those videos were. It's like 18 things you may not have known about Battlefield.
Yeah.
And they just went down like the BF wiki list. And but I liked those. I feel like we don't get those style like news thingies anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, though. Some of the plane gameplay is sick. Like,
Yeah.
I love just looking around and there's an entire other game happening.
I know. Oh my god,
Like,
they just
you just shot a helicopter with a jet.
just flew up right in our faces.
They're right into the group of buildings in front of us. I got one on the right here. There's probably another. All right, we're safe. In those groupings of buildings.
Yeah. I'm just gonna crouch in the debris.
Right, there they are. There they are. They see me. They're
Yeah.
peppering me. I'm dropping. I got some shots on them. To your right, buddy. Yep. We gotta rotate back.
Oh my
We got a tank coming in also.
We might get the cap off before they blow us up.
I
Maybe.
think we did it. On my screen, there's just a ladder floating in midair. The Levolution just is like, nope. You can have this ladder. It's gonna stay forever.
Yeah. Wasn't the most polished feature, but it was still really freaking cool.
All right. So you've played Battlefield 4 on a CRT.
Yes. It is.
What is it like?
Glorious. It's very interesting because Battlefield 4 and 3, honestly, like they represent a fairly big shift in how graphics are presented in games. Like, it's a big move away from all the flat textures and like Call of Duty 4 was frequently praised as this like photoreal experience, but it's still very flat. It lacks some of the lighting and the like the shading and the fog and the particles and stuff that we started seeing later on. Whereas Battlefield 3 and 4, it's very, I don't know how to describe it, but like 3D and atmospheric, and it's very different than what you would expect to play on a CRT, which is, you know, Quake and things like that. But it looks so good because there's a softness that comes in Battlefield. Like, Battlefield is not the most, like, pristine, I am dying all over the place, pristine, like, super sharp game. It is kind of soft and trying to be more like you're looking through a nice camera lens or something. And that plus the texture of the CRT screen just looks really nice.
Heck yeah. Okay. That sounds pretty rad.
And you get to run it at like a lower resolution and higher frame rate as a result, which is pretty sick too.
So I've been watching your CRT videos. You did a big one on your main channel, and then you did another one on your gaming channel. Like, you've got me hooked, but what is the reality of like trying to get a CRT now? Is it pretty much anything you can find on your local Craigslist is a win?
For the most part, yes. I have lucked out with some of the more expensive ones that I have acquired have just been through finds, but it's something that I think what a lot of people want to get into it is they're like, okay, tell me, okay, my game froze, there we go. Tell me which monitor to buy, like you're buying a brand new one. They're like, okay, which one should I get? And I'm like, I could tell you a million different models and you'll never see those again in your life. Whereas the play is kind of more to get what you can first, and then you have more freedom to shop around, so to speak, once you have acquired, you know, the baseline, the I have something to play on and discuss and figure out if this is even a hobby or like a way to play for me. And then from there you can decide whether you're gonna have the patience to sit there and like hunt around and things like that.
Yeah.
It's very much, it depends on where you are and it depends on where you look. Because I would have said a couple years ago, the entire market's dried up. It's impossible to find them. Like, I don't see them anywhere in my area, even though there are people on Reddit like constantly finding big finds. But then in the past couple of years, building up my big CRT wall, suddenly I'm finding more of them, and even free. Like, my wife was taking our kid on a walk down the street, and on the side of the road was this 34-inch HD CRT.
No
way.
way.
It's 30-inch, I think. But like 200-pound HD CRT, runs 1080i 720p, replaces the one that I had a few years ago. I had been looking for it for a long time, and it was just sitting there, waiting for me.
Unreal. Unreal.
And so it's something that definitely takes a fair bit of perseverance and just kind of looking around. But it's hard to go wrong unless it's just broken. So it's something I very much think it's good to just kind of get what you can first and then try to get something fancier later. But most average, especially we're talking PC CRTs, not like TVs to run Smash on, most of them will run some form of 120 hertz format. It may not be super high res, but I mean, none of them are in the first place. But like most of them can, unless they were the like cheapest of the cheap back in the day, most of them will probably run like 800 by 600 or 1024 by 768 at 120 hertz. And like, that's an incredible value to just get basically a free or maybe like $20 monitor that runs 120 hertz.
That's insane. I feel like we gave up so much without even realizing it, just for the I understand why the transition occurred, but you almost are leaving behind what, like 80 years of technology?
Yeah. And I get like a lot of people don't want to deal with the bigger, heavier screens.
weight.
A lot of people don't want the desk space. I know a lot of people go for the super thin, barely, present desks these days, and that's fine, but like, I like my deep desks anyways, and there's just something about it. The big downside is you don't exactly get the same, like, if you're used to a big 32-inch or 28-inch LCD, you're not gonna
Oh my gosh.
find that in a CRT at all.
Yeah.
But you just get closer to it, because despite what they told us as kids, unless you're just like trying to get a macro view with your eyeballs, you can sit close to it and you're not going to hurt your eyes.
So long distance stuff, that kind of
Yes.
detail is pretty tricky.
Yes.
Okay. Is that just due to pixel density or what?
Yeah, pretty much, because you don't have, like, there's no pixels on a CRT. It's just lines. And so if you feed it a higher resolution, it can look sharper and you get more detail, but it's not, like, you're not necessarily going to see more pixels. You're just going to have some perceived sharpness, and it's all filtered through like basically like a screen.
Yeah.
And so,
see, that's where I'd struggle.
yeah.
I haven't been playing much Apex, honestly. I think I fell out of it a little bit this season, but when I do play it, I'm amazed at how well good players can see at a distance enemies immediately.
That's the play these days. And so they're, especially because Apex doesn't even support 4x3 anyway. Neither does Overwatch, weirdly enough. And so
It's funny, it's Source, right?
Right.
That's strange. And you would think too, with how much of a competitive professional FPS scene they have, with a bunch of people wanting to
it's
play.
some weird thing where they
stretch.
don't want to give like an advantage, even though every other game supports it, and like in other pro FPSs, people play it 4x3 stretched. So like it seems like a dumb decision.
Well,
but
it's interesting too, though, because like Fortnite, they've banned that from their tournaments. They just don't want
did they?
streamers showing their game that way.
that's hilarious. Coming from an era where just like, Valve never gave a crap about stuff like that. With like CS being the dominant game and COD, like there was no Activision presence over COD. Like that wasn't a thing. It's so weird seeing how like control-y some of them are now. But yeah, I very much pick and choose the games I play on a CRT. It's very much, I wouldn't recommend, I mean, if you want to, by all means, but I wouldn't outwardly just like recommend someone just try to replace their CRT or their LCD with a CRT. It's just like, it's a secondary gaming thing. Like you want to play your consoles in a certain way, you want to play your PCs in a certain way, and you want to play certain games on a CRT. And so that's why I keep two completely opposite ends of the spectrum monitors right next to each other.
And you kind of like need a pretty beefy desk, right? Because if you just talked about a 200-pound monitor.
Yeah. Well, thankfully the PC ones are fairly, like, most of them are small enough, it's fine. I think the heaviest one you're really going to encounter is going to be 70 pounds, which, like, is the max weight capacity of most of the particle board IKEA furniture. But Otherwise, it's fine.
Oh man, and
But-
I've got a glass desk,
Yeah.
and I'm like, there's not a chance. But I wanna ask around, see if our IT guy has any extra CRTs, because I would like to experience it. That was something we never even thought about back then, because the average like performance of most of the CRT monitors was slamming for
Yeah.
gaming. It just was accepted, you know.
Why am I just randomly getting burned all the time? That is one of the cool things about Battlefield. But like, you get to have these narratives where you just have your own separate game inside the game. Kind of the dream of what MAG was supposed to be back in the day.
So MAG was 100-player, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was the whole hook of it. It was mega player sizes.
And that's what the new exposure map in 2042 is. They put 128 back on it, and it is like you could play the same map 10 different times and have completely different game experiences. It is awesome.
I want that. I think I'll probably end up having to get that.
But
I know they were
also,
saying for a while they thought it was going to go free to play. They had hinted at it, so
yeah.
if that's not the case, I think it's time to just pony up. I'm sure it's very cheap on certain places.
And the cool thing is,
These
like, you don't need to push to that many players. Like, this is a 64 person match, and
Yep.
every part of the map is a whole separate, like, gameplay loop, effectively.
Yep.
What am I getting hit by? Stop hitting me!
Initially, I did like it. Gosh, gaming was so different though back then. It really was like, I've unlocked all the things. That's my loop. Now I'll prestige and I'll do it again, you know?
And see, I never really prestiged in the first place either. Like, losing everything just sucked.
It's like a player specific thing for sure.
Yeah.
Hit it, hit it, hit it.
Destroyed another
was that
helicopter
you?
and the jet.
Was that you?
Oh!
Dude, my small almost hit it at the same time. That was sick. I was like, whatever the second to last prestige was in the original Black Ops, because I liked that logo better.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to like fly the aircraft
Oh,
in
I'm
Battlefield?
so terrible at it. I feel like I need a dedicated controller just to pick up as soon as I get in a jet.
Yeah, I'm
It's so weird on mouse and keyboard.
I'm there with you. I played the helicopter in BF4,
Yeah.
but I tended to be that guy who just crashes right away. Oh, I'm dead. Hello, tank. It's
And
not
you
the
get
worst.
so
You
it's
just-
one of those things where like you get so little time with it to get good at it because
Yeah.
it's so like the stakes are so high. Oh, someone just saved my life. Holy balls. Okay. Oh, damn it. Like the stakes are so high, like you pick it up, you destroy it. That's it. You could not get to touch it again for hours even.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how I felt about PUBG for a long time. Like sniping in PUBG felt like this rare occurrence that it was so hard to get good at. And eventually, you put enough hours in, you get to do it. But oh, I hit the bridge. Darn it.
Dude, there's another tank here too.
Oh, he's behind us.
Yeah, I'm hiding out. I'm so scared. I think this is it. Rest in
Oh, there's a
pepperonis,
dude
bro.
behind us too. No.